Alright, so you successfully set up the game and everything, congrats. For the sake of tutorial, I put up a keyboard, like I use, and it's this, pretty much I put up a thing on the screen right now called Nohboard, Nohboard, in case you wanted to use it. It's just for the sake of tutorial purposes, so that you can see what buttons I'm pressing in case you had any questions. Yeah, so if you want to use it, Nohboard, Nohboard. But pretty much start a game, new game. What to say? There isn't really much to say right now. When you start the game's going to be in French, as you'll hear as we set up. Character presets don't really matter. You can play as whatever character you want, but we will be playing as Nate because Nate is faster than Nora in French. Nora is actually faster in English, so if you're still playing in English for whatever reason, play as Nora. But you can make your characters look at like whatever you want. I personally am a very superstitious person. I grew up playing baseball, so naturally I'm very superstitious. So I always like playing as the same presets, but what you're going to do is say, once you have your character set up and you're playing as Nate, click on enter, and then you're going to press OK, and as soon as you press OK, you're going to start your timer. So say my timer button was T for time, you're going to click and press T at the same time, and I'll start your timer at -3.5, and your timer will like begin going as soon as your reticle appears. It just works out with the -3.5 setup like we did in part 1 of the tutorial. So as soon as you start the game, you're just going to turn this corner and run up to Codsworth and mash E to talk to him, and then you're going to nestle yourself between these bar stools. Essentially, Codsworth is going to do the dishes, Nora's going to walk to here, and Sean is going to start crying at about 28 seconds. Codsworth will then stop doing the dishes, turn at about 29 seconds, and start walking. And we need to talk to Codsworth when he starts like exclaiming how Sean's a baby who's crying, like this. So he just turned, he's going to walk this way and start a line of dialogue. There are two things you can do. One is wait for him to start talking and then talk to him, or you can do the smart thing and stand right where I am between the bar stools, just nestle yourself between them and look just to the left of the second leg of the grill and just mash E. And as soon as you talk to Codsworth, then it's going to like perfectly skip his line. This visual setup lines up perfectly with when he starts talking. You're just going to mash E, and as soon as you start saying your line, you're going to turn to Nora to the right and talk. So just like this. This is what it looks like. You just look, mash E, and do that. There you go. You just did your first speed tech. You're speed running. Congrats. Now we have to wait for the Vault Tech representative. You can do whatever you want in the house. You can interact with stuff. I like just going into third person by pressing V and then just spinning in circles and opening and closing the door. But he'll start walking over, and what you're going to do is just stand here as close as you can to the door and just mash E. And then pretty much as soon as the door opens, you're just going to keep mashing E and start mashing 4 as well. And then once you start actually talking to him, just mash 4, and you can also press down on the arrow key because 4 and down correspond to the bottom choices in the dialogue, which for 95% of the run, we're always going to pick the bottom choices. So just going to mash E to talk to him. They start doing this. I do it alternating. It's really up to you. You're going to get to the stat screen. Sure, let's do it. And the stats screen will come up. Alright, for stats. First thing you're going to want to do, press enter, and then press R, and then press enter. You can name your person whatever you want, but R is the easiest one to do because your finger needs to be on R anyways to accept. Just do enter, R, enter to enter your name. And then go down to endurance. We're going to max endurance, intelligence, 1 in intelligence to bring it up to 2, then max agility, and dump the rest into luck. You should practice this a bit once you start doing runs, but it's going to look, when you do it fast, it's going to be like this. Do the R thing, and then you're going to, pretty much that, right? And then there's advanced strats for doing this, but really just focus on getting the stats into this. So the reason why we pick these stats, I'd like to divulge all the information as to why. You want 10 in endurance because endurance, the more your endurance, the slower your AP drains, or no, the faster your AP regens. So that means that it's pretty much essentially like the slower your AP will drain. Yeah, action point drain while sprinting. It says right here. It affects your action point drain while sprinting. So the more endurance you have, the slower your action points drain, the more you can sprint. And we want to sprint as much as possible. So 10 in endurance. Intelligence. The more intelligence you have, the more XP you get. But we don't want to get too much XP because we want to level up at a very certain time in the run. Because when you level up, it regens your health and AP. And we want to, pretty much there's a 4 or 5 minute running segment in the middle of the run. And we want to level up in the middle of that so we get a free AP bar. So we only want 2 in intelligence because that will time out our level up to exactly then. As opposed to if we put 4 in intelligence, then we'd level up too early. So just 2 in intelligence. Agility, max out, more action points and VATs. So that means we can sprint more, we can use VATs more. Both of those are good things. And then we just dump the rest into luck because that's the fastest thing to dump it into. So once you do that all, let me just show you what it'll look like. You just do like that, that, that. And then you just press R and then mash 4 to talk to him. And you stop talking to him. Then you turn to Nora and just mash E on her to talk to her. After you start saying for you and Sean, no price is too high, you'll walk over to Sean and you're going to look at Codsworth, and Codsworth will start saying, "Sir, the baby's crying." And as soon as he starts his line, you talk to him and look down at the crib and coddle Sean. There you go. Just like that. You're going to coddle Sean. Then you're going to just stop. You're going to look at the mobile, look at the engine on the mobile and just mash E. And then you're going to wait for Nora to walk into the room. You can walk to really anywhere in the room and she'll walk in, but if you just stay standing still, it'll guarantee she walks in. Whereas if you walk over to here, you might block her path and she'll take longer. So just wait in the corner. Once she actually gets into the room, you can move over to the door and just mash 4. And then you want to turn and you want to walk all the way up to the door and just start mashing E while holding W. And as soon as you are able to open the door, immediately turn left and walk down the hallway. The faster you do it, the faster you progress. That's going to be like, not we. That's going to be like the mantra for the run. Just try and do everything as fast as possible because it's speed running. So there's a trigger right here in the hallway. So you have to hit that trigger as soon as possible to progress this part. So that's why we have to get down the hallway as quickly as possible. But now we have to wait for the door to open. Once the door is open, we're going to sprint out and just follow the path I take. It's super straightforward. Just sprint out, jump the fence, run this way, jump this fence, keep running. Run up to here. So we're gonna run up to this guy and talk to him. Sometimes this tall like neighbor lady will be standing right here in your way. If that's the case, just run around the right side and talk to him. But we're gonna talk to the military officer. Mash E to say, like, to start the dialogue of, "Hey, let us in, we're on the list." And then you want to mash E again as soon as you say finish the word list, because there's a chance that you can skip his dialogue and keep going on. So I just quick saved because I want to try and show you all scenarios. So this is the dialogue normally. So that's without doing the skip, and it'll say infant, adult, male, adult, female. Okay, go ahead, and you can run through. Now I'm gonna try and do the skip, and there's a successful skip and a failed skip. So here's I'm gonna try and let's see what we get. So that was the skip working correctly. We say, like, we just say our line again and we're able to run past them right away. So that's a good list skip. Then the bad list skip, let's see if I can get it. I might not be able to. It's kind of hard to do on purpose. No, it's hard to get it on purpose. But you'll get it. You'll get it a lot. Essentially, you'll keep saying, "We need to get in, we're on the list, we need to get in, we're on the list," over and over until eventually he'll finally let you through. He'll say his line and let you through. But once we're through, we're going to run this way, not this way, because this way is actually slightly slower because of the way it triggers people to run. So run this way. I'm going to run over these rocks. Just run right onto the platform. And then we have to wait for everyone to get on. Very, 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 very rarely, like I've done over 4,000 runs of this game, very rarely the neighbors will push you off the platform. I've only had it happen to me twice. Very rarely. Like, it happens to people once if they ever speedrun this game for a prolonged period of time. And then it'll soft lock your game. You just have to do a reset. But other than that, yeah. You'll start lowering the platform. Your timer should be pausing like right about like in a half a second once the music strings stop. Right there, your timer should pause for half a second. And you'll be lowered down into the vault. And that's the end of entering the vault. If you have any questions, let me know in the Discord channel. Otherwise, go to the playlist and just go to the next video. You know how it works. Next video.